Hey, this is Damon Rich, and welcome to a bonus episode of Marriage Refresh TV. I want to take a moment to just share a quick thought with you tonight, and that thought has to do with um, the sabotage of perfection, the sabotage of perfection, because I believe that a lot of people sabotage their relationships, they sabotage their marriages for the sake of perfection. And perfection is a lie in terms of outside of Jesus, there's been no perfect person that walked the earth. And so perfection is a lie, and I want to dispel that by talking about the story about the Israelites going into the land of milk and honey, right? So when we talk about the children of Israel going into the land of milk and honey, when I think about the land of milk and honey, I think about it being this perfect place. It is, matter of fact, the word of God says it's a land full of milk and honey. It's got vineyards that you did not plant. It's got houses that you did not build. And you're going to take all of this. You're going to come into all of this great stuff. So I want to contrast the land of milk and honey with the Garden of Eden, because I think in a relationship, what we do is we run into someone and we want the Garden of Eden. When I think about the Garden of Eden is people came in, or God came in, he transformed the Garden of Eden, he made the Garden of Eden, and after he made the Garden of Eden, he put put Adam in it, and he put Adam's wife in it, and there you have it, the Garden of Eden. There you got the Garden of Eden, and they're there, and it's this perfect place, and then they ruined perfection, right? But I think that's what we want to have happen in our relationships is we want the Garden of Eden. We don't want the land of milk and honey. And I promise you, I'm going to make a distinction between the two. We want in our relationships, we want the Garden of Eden, meaning when we meet the person, we want everything to be perfect and us not have to do anything but just keep it together. But we know how the Garden of Eden played out. The Garden of Eden at the end of the day played out that perfection wasn't good enough. And so they start tinkering with perfection. And if you walk into a perfect relationship that you have not put any work and effort into, perfection will not be good enough. You will find a way to start tinkering with it. So that's what happened when it comes to the Garden of Eden. But now the relationship you really want is milk and honey. And when you look afar off, you're like, that's the one I want. I want the relationship with milk and honey. But you're treating it like the Garden of Eden, meaning you want it to be perfect. You want it to be 100 perfect. Everything that you thought it could be, want it to be immediately. That's what I want. No, 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 no. Here's the truth about the Garden of Eden. If you are not the Garden of Eden, the land of milk and honey. Yes, God said that you're going to have houses that you did not build. Yes, you're going to have access to vineyards you did not plant. But I want you to remember how they got to the land of milk and honey. First, one of the things that happened was that they had to send some people down into the land, or they sent some spies, and you had some spies that came back, and some spies said, man, we can't even have this. And then you have some spies say, man, we can overtake it. So I want you to understand that the distinction, there's always going to be some people around your relationship to say, you can't have the relationship you're talking about you want. You're going to always have those. You're grasshoppers. That relationship, you're a grasshopper in comparison to that relationship. But then you're going to have people that say you can have that relationship. And I'm here to tell you that you can have that relationship, but it's not a perfect relationship. It is not an on the spot, on demand relationship. It is something completely different, because when you come to the land of milk and honey, the one thing that you have to remember and recall is this: they had to fight on their way to it. You heard it. They had to fight on their way to the land of milk and honey. They had to put some people out. Because if there was a house that I did not build, well, somebody built it and somebody was living in it. Yeah, they had to fight and kick some people out. They had to evict some people. They had to evict some things. So here's what I want to tell you about that, how perfection will sabotage your relationship. You're looking at the perfect relationship, you see it lining up, and then guess what you do? You don't want to do the work of evicting past hurts. You don't want to do the work of evicting pains. You don't want to do the work of evicting shortcomings, not only in them, but in yourself too. You don't want to do the work. But the land of milk and honey did not come without the process of eviction. So all I'm saying to you is don't let your relationship slide because you're unwilling to do the work. And I'm not talking about one-sided work. I'm talking about both partners being willing to work so that they can reach that relationship that is flowing with milk and honey. That's all I have for you. I just wanted to share that. Don't sabotage your relationship for perfection. It will always take work. It will always take work. Until next time, this is Damon Rich, Marriage Refresh TV, bonus episode. You have a great one.